Hi, welcome to today's slow flow. For today's practice, you don't need any props, and we're going to get started in a seated position, actually in hero's pose. So you'll make your way to be seated on your heels, knees pointed forward. If this doesn't agree with your knees, take an easy seat. Wherever you are, goal here is a long spine. Eyes can be softer closed. And first, just give yourself a handful of breaths to settle in. Shoulders slide away from the ears. Slight squeeze in those shoulder blades to lift the heart. Crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. And give yourself a full cycle of breath here. Inhale, completely filling the torso. Exhale to release it all out. One more of those breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Hands come to heart center and then lift them up so your thumbs are a little closer to your nose. On an inhale, open your arms for cactus, heart pulls forward. Exhale, bring your palms together, tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale to open. Exhale, chin towards the chest. Give yourself a few rounds here of this seated cat-cow. Goal is to warm up not only the shoulders, but also the spine. Moving at your own pace. Reminding ourselves with these slow flows, sometimes it feels like a treat, sometimes it feels like a challenge. But encouraging yourself to move more slowly than you typically would. Take a little extra time in these shapes. We'll pause next time you come back to center. Nice tall spine. Then hands come to your thighs here. Lift your hips to tuck your toes for planter's pose. Now we're here for just a moment. Seated on your heels. Take a breath in. And out. 2 more breaths like that. If you need to, you can always bring your hands to the mat to take a little of the pressure off of your knees or the soles of your feet, I should say. 1 more cycle of breath wherever you are. Inhale, lift to standing on the knees. And then right foot comes in front of you, Anjaneyasana. Back toes untuck. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Right hand grabs left wrist, side stretch towards the right. Like you're really lifting from that left hip through the left ribs to the left fingertips. Hips stay anchored beneath you, nice and square. On your inhale, side stretch just a little further. Next breath, release, coming back to center, hands to the hips. Right knee steps behind you. Other side, left knee steps forward, Anjaneyasana on this side. Hips square forward, arms frame the face. Then left hand grabs right wrist. Side stretch towards the left. Notice if you're wanting to lean forward here. Do your best to keep your heart stacked over your hips. Lifting from that right hip, through the right rib cage, right shoulder, to those right fingertips. 1 more cycle of breath. Then come back to center, release hands to the hips. Left knee back under you, tuck the toes for just a moment. Sink your hips back towards the heels. Take a breath in and out. 1 more cycle of breath in and out. On an inhale, come to standing on your knees. Back toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels more stable. On an inhale, reach your fingertips up nice and tall. Then exhale, elbows pull down, heart lifts, a little back bend. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, elbows pull down. Give yourself 3 more rounds here, working at your pace of breath. Keeping your glutes engaged here can help protect that low back or really just make it feel a little more stable in these back bends. We'll pause the next time your arms are lifted, no rush to get there. Hands come to heart center. Right foot steps in front of you. Back toes tuck, and then lift that back knee, coming into crescent pose. Really take a moment to press that back heel away from you. Back thigh reaches towards the sky. On an inhale, open towards the right. Right arm comes back, left arm forward. Really getting a strong base here. Pressing the back heel away from you, root down through that front foot. Open your shoulders a little more towards the right. Reaching your arms as far away from each other as you can. Thinking a nice long wingspan. Take a breath in. Release it out. Come back to center, hands at your heart. Left knee lowers, then right knee comes to meet it. On an inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, elbows pull down for cactus. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Then other side, left knee presses in front of you, rather left foot steps in front of you. Give yourself a moment to get the base. Right toes tuck. Lift that back knee. Back heel presses away from you. Strong back leg. Maybe you even inch the front toes forward. Really finding your base here first. Then open towards the left. Left arm comes back, right arm forward. Goal here, we're taking up as much space as we can. So imagine you're squaring your shoulders towards the left. Right fingertips reach forward, left back. As long as those arms can possibly be. Keep that bend in the front knee. Give yourself 1 more cycle of breath here. Hands come to heart center. Then shifting this time, step forward to Tadasana. Take a breath in. Breath out. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky as tall as you can be. Then on your exhale, take a forward fold. Let that head hang heavy. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. Bringing a little or a lot of bend to the knees. Let yourself sway side to side here. If the neck feels a little tight, sometimes I like to gently shake my head no. Or you can even bring hands behind the nape of your neck, like you're reclined at the beach, not forcing that neck down, but just a little pressure to help it release. 2 more rounds of breath here. On an inhale, find a half lift, shoulders towards hip height, hands press into the thighs. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more cycle of breath, elbows hug towards the sides. Inhale. Exhale. Fold forward once more, really letting yourself hang heavy. Then take your time as you roll up to a standing position, up to that Tadasana mountain pose. Eventually, shoulders come up towards the ears. They slide down the back as your palms face forward. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, arms reach up. You can look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, a half lift, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, lift all the way up, back to that Urdhva Hastasana, as tall as you can be. Hands come to heart center, elbows away from each other. Breath in, breath out. Arms reach up towards the sky. You can keep your palms pressing, then hips towards the left, fingertips towards the right. Now, I like to bring my right arm down my side body. Feels a little better in my right shoulder. So whatever works for you. Keep your chest spiraling towards the sky. We're not reaching forward. Next, inhale, come back to center. Exhale, other side. Palms can press, or that left hand can reach down the side. Little crescent moon shape in the side body. Then give yourself a few rounds here, working at your pace. You might go breath to movement. You might go a little bit slower. I wouldn't suggest going faster unless you're like really feeling it. But no, that's not the slow flow vibe we're bringing. Just really letting yourself lengthen. Same as we did in that low lunge, all the way from the hip to the rib to the fingertips. Give yourself one more round on either side, letting yourself even out. And then come back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, elbows pull down. Inhale, arms reach towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, Uttanasana, forward folds. Inhale for that half lift. Pause here for an extra breath. Strong back body, long legs. Then fold once more. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Hands come to heart center. Shifting your weight towards your left foot. Right foot steps back for crescents. So all the toes point towards the top of the mat. Arms frame the face here. On an inhale, you reach up. Exhale, elbows pull down, back knee lowers. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, pause here. Exhale, hinge forward, power lunge. Pausing here for a moment, reaching that back heel towards the back of the mat. Fingertips reach in front of you. You can keep your arms extended for a bit of a challenge. Shift your weight forward, warrior three. Now hands can always come to heart center. That feels better in your shoulders. Give yourself just a moment here. Next breath, lift your upper body. Right foot comes behind left. Side stretch towards the left. So we've got like a little one-legged Tadasana action here. Right ankle cross behind left. Inhale back to center, feet unwind. Take a breath in. Sigh it out. Next breath, left foot steps behind you for crescent. Toes point towards the top of the mat. Arms frame the face. Again, find that base here. Engage your core like you're knitting those ribs together. On an exhale, elbows pull down, knee lowers. Inhale, lift and extend. Exhale, elbows down, knee lowers. Inhale, lift and extend. Hinge forward, power lunge, or sometimes it's called arrowhead. Notice here if your chin's tucking towards your chest, keep your neck nice and long. Then shift forward, warrior three. Again, hands might feel better at your heart, or you can keep them extended, embracing that challenge. Give yourself a moment, rooting down through that standing leg. Then slowly lift your upper body. Left foot crosses behind right. Side stretch towards the right. Hips towards the left, fingertips towards the right. Inhale, come back to center, legs unwind, hands to heart. Take a breath in, let it out. Inhale, arms reach nice and wide, all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, close leg forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Weight pours to your right foot. Left foot steps back. And then open for warrior two. So back foot is parallel to the short edge of the mat. Toes point to the long edge of the mat. Inch those front toes forward. A nice low and stable base here. On an inhale, right palm flips up, reach forward. Pause here, engage the core. The next breath, scoop all that energy back. Right arm comes overhead, right ribs through the right fingertips, nice and open. Then right forearm to left, right thigh, left arm overhead. Now notice here if you're really sinking into that shoulder, lift away so you've got a nice strong core here helping you. We'll add in some arm circles. Left arm reaches towards the floor, then up towards the sky, flowing with that natural rotation of the shoulder. Give yourself just a few cycles going this direction. Then switch directions when it feels ready. Again, following, not fighting, that natural rotation of your shoulders. We'll pause the next time that left arm is overhead, keeping your upper body nice and strong. Inhale, arms come back to shoulder height. Straighten that front leg and turn your toes to long edge of the mat. Wide leg forward fold. Let everything hang heavy here. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. You can sway side to side again. Keeping that weight towards the heels and outer edges of your feet. Release the grip. Right hand comes outside of left ankle. Left arm can reach towards the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to center. Left hand outside of right ankle. Right arm reaches towards the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to center. Inhale, find a half lift first, shoulders towards hip height. Then exhale, fold, let yourself hang heavy. This time bring hands to hips. Inhale, half lift, pause right here. Exhale, lift all the way up. Hands come to shoulder height. Bend into that front knee, back to warrior two. Then step forward to Tadasana. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stepping your left foot back. Open it to warrior two. No, right foot back this time. Open it to warrior two so we're facing the other side of the mat. Nice work. Find that base. Pressing into the blade edges of both feet helps the knees stay open. Arms are strong at that shoulder height. Inhale, left palm flips up, reach forward. Pause here. Turning on the core, keeping that base nice and strong. Then inhale, scoop the energy back. Reaching through that side body, left hip to left ribs to left fingertips. Left forearm to left thigh. Right arm comes overhead. Nice long diagonal line of energy from that foot to those fingertips. Staying strong in the core so you're lifted off that shoulder. Add in your shoulder circles. First reaching down, then all the way up. Again, work at your own pace. You might go nice and slow, slower than my pace. Maybe you're really feeling those circles, but I don't necessarily recommend that. But if it feels fun, go for it. Shift your directions here. Following that natural rhythm. Allowing the rotation in your shoulder to rotate as it feels best. We'll pause with that right arm overhead. Inhale, lift back to warrior two using that core. Straighten your front leg, turn toes to long edge of the mat. Wide leg forward fold. Now again, you might sway side to side here. Maybe this time it feels fun to bring hands to each ankle or even peace fingers around big toes, more actively pulling yourself into the shape. Here for just a moment, or you can stay here. I'm gonna go through those twists once more, so if you'd like to join. This time, left hand comes outside of right ankle, right arm reaches towards the sky. Breathe in and out. Come back to center. Right hand outside of left ankle, left arm towards the sky. Breathe in and out. Come back to center. Inhale, find that half lift, engaging the back body first. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, half lift, hands come to hips. Pause here. Then lift all the way up, wide leg standing pose, arms at shoulder height. Turn your front toes towards the top of the mat. Warrior two for a moment. Then step forward to Tadasana. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, arms reach up, pause here. Then slowly lift your heels nice and high off the mat. We're gonna begin slowly lowering down. Knees begin to bend. Heels stay lifted. Going as slow as you can. Now you might pause here in like a chair position. Maybe you come all the way to toe stand. Hips towards the heels, knees point forward. Then on an inhale, bring your hands to heart center. Heart pulls towards the thumbs. A little different here. Keeping the heels lifted, reach forward and then round the spine. Next breath, come back to center, knees point forward, heart towards the thumbs. Another round, reaching forward, chin tucks towards the chest, heels lower towards the mat, but likely they won't touch. Then come back to center, knees point forward. Just one more here. Reaching forward, round the spine, tuck the chin as far as you can. Then hands to heart, knees point forward. You can bring your hips to the mat here, coming into a diamond shape. So soles of the feet are together, heels pull away from you. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, fold or round forward over the shape. Letting hands rest here on your toes. Maybe forearms come under the shins if that feels supportive and good in your body. Head hangs heavy. Handful of breaths right here. Working into those outer hips, letting our knees be heavy towards the floor. Next breath, lift your upper body out of the shape. And keeping your base as is, pull your heels in closer to your body. So you're coming into more of a traditional butterfly. Heels as close to your body as feels good. Hands can rest here. I really use them as like a grip here on the toes. Sitting up tall, squeeze the shoulder blades together. You might stay right here, nice tall spine, hips stacked under the heart, or you can begin to hinge forward. But we're keeping the spine long here, not rounding into the shape, just leaning your heart. Maybe it comes a little closer towards coming over those feet. Pausing here for 2 cycles of breath. And release. Can bring the knees back together, soles of the feet to the mat, and then slowly lower down here. Resting the back body on the mat, hips, shoulders, head, all supported here. Feet are at hip distance, toes pointing forward. And bring your hands by the hips, palms facing down. Inhale, lift your hips for bridge. Hips pressing up towards the sky, glutes are activated here. You might stay right here, or I like to interlace my fingers, walking the shoulders under me a bit more. Knuckles press towards the heels. A slightly more lifted version of bridge. Glutes are engaged. Take a breath in and out. Slowly lower down, letting your hips, shoulders, head all rest here on the mat. Full breath in, fill that belly. Full exhale, press all the air out. Now check in, you can stay right here. This is lovely. Or if you'd like to join for another round of bridge, I'll guide us through that. If you're joining, inhale to lift the hips. Perhaps interlacing those fingers, shoulders walk under you. Knuckles press towards the heels. Heart lifts. Glutes are engaged. Give yourself 2 cycles of breath, pressing into not only the heels, but the blade edges and the balls of the feet. Then slowly lower down, hips towards the mat. Give yourself a round of breath here. Inhale to fill the belly. Exhale, sigh it out. Open up your arms to a T or a cactus shape. Shift your hips a bit to the right and let your knees fall to the left. Gazing over that right shoulder. Handful of breaths here. You can always wrap your top leg around bottom if that feels good. Softening into the shape. Next, inhale, make your way back towards center. Other side, shift your hips to the left, knees towards the right. Can gaze over that left shoulder. You might pause here. You can always play with wrapping that top leg around the bottom. Don't have to. Even if you did it on the other side, listen to what feels right on this side of your body. Each breath helps you soften into the twist. Inhale back towards center. Knees point up towards the sky. Then hug your knees into your chest. Hands can rest on the shins here. Maybe you come into a tight yogi hug, forehead towards the knees. Everything squeezes together. And extend into Shavasana. Legs extend long. Arms hang heavy. Allowing your body to soften with each exhale. Eyebrows slide away from each other. All the way down to the soles of your feet softening. Give yourself a few cycles of breath just to breathe here. Eyes can stay soft or closed. Checking in here, if it's available to you and it feels good, you're more than welcome to stay in this place of rest. If it's time to close out your practice, begin to deepen those inhales and exhales. Add in whatever gentle movement feels good. Maybe you wiggle the fingers and toes, or even build to a nice good morning stretch, fingertips overhead, toes opposite direction. Taking your time and allowing yourself to move gently. When you're ready, come to a fetal position on either side. Using that as a nice transition to press yourself up to any comfortable seated position. Eyes can stay soft or closed. Feeling into some gratitude here. You showed up today and honored your body with movement and with rest, allowing that importance to sink in. We'll close with a collective breath. Hands can stay on the lap or layer one over the other on top of your heart. Exhale to prepare. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Thanks for being part of this rad community, and I hope the rest of your day is splendid.